episode of adventure and fun in metaphysics. I really it's going to be a very brief show because I want to concentrate on one idea, just one, but it's critical, I think, to understand it completely for the rest, and for the rest and for some time to come. I'm going to be talking a great deal about Newtonian and Einstein physics. And it's very, very important to understand the difference. It's the hinge pin of what we will be discussing from this point forward. For so much of history, we have been involved. Well, Newtonian physics goes back to the famous physicist Sir Isaac Newton, which, no question, I mean, the man was one of the most brilliant minds that ever existed. The inventor of calculus, well, one of them, and the law of universal gravitation, and his list of accomplishments is long. He was also, many people don't know this, he was an alchemist, big time. He was very involved with alchemy. And I don't consider that a detraction on him at all. Number one, it was very big when he was around. Number two, when people think of alchemists, they think of people trying to turn lead into gold or turn other elements into gold. Yes, they tried to do that, but that was actually a very small part of what alchemy is about. Alchemy was the forefather of chemistry. You know, if there weren't the alchemists, there probably wouldn't be chemistry. So, the world owes a debt of gratitude, in reality, to alchemy. There are several really good books out there on alchemy. There's one of those, what do they call it? The Complete Idiot's Guide, to this or to that. They got one to alchemy. I read it. It was actually pretty good. I learned a lot. That's where I learned how much more alchemy was involved, other than just turning lead into gold. Alchemy actually tries to find out some of the secrets of the universe. But anyway, getting back to where we were. The laws, there's a famous story of Sir Isaac Newton and the apple falling out of the tree, and he discovered gravity. Well, of course, gravity existed already. The thing is, Einstein's laws apply to bigger things, and we're talking about like things that we deal with every day, and bigger, including the universe, including the fact that the planets, go around the sun. They're held in by the gravitational pull of the sun. We all know and understand how much the moon affects us. From a gravitational viewpoint, with tides and the like. But what, and his laws were considered foolproof, and they are. Two of them. I was wondering, we knew we wouldn't get past that dog barking. Anyway, they're good until you get down to a certain point. When you start getting into the atomic level and subatomic level, they don't work at all. But you have to understand the way it works. Okay, look at chemistry. Like I said, and Einstein came from alchemy. He, in chemistry, all the chemical reactions that make you what you, the billions of chemical reactions that happen in you every second and happen in the earth every second. And all the chemical reactions we use to make our lives today what they are. Chemical reactions are all in the it involves electrons in the outer shells. That's all it is. There is nothing in chemical reactions that affects the inner, closer in electrons to the nucleus or to the nucleus itself. Well, that's where Einstein's theories come in. Because once you get down to that level, Newtonian physics just doesn't work anymore. He would probably be very upset about this. I don't know. But I mean, it took Newton, or maybe he might say, that's interesting. Only works to a certain point. No, when you get down to the atomic level, then you're looking at Einstein, his famous equation, E equals mc squared, which we've talked about before. But yet, its point is so important, I want to reemphasize it. The famous equation, E equals mc squared, is so, it's so simple, it's mind-boggling. That, one of the true secrets of the universe could be contained in something that contains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, characters. E, which is energy, equals m, mass, times the speed of light squared. This is so profound, what it says when you get down to the nuts and bolts of what it says. It says energy and mass are related. Energy is mass, and mass is energy. They are one the same. Think about that just for a minute. What it's saying is, even the mass that is me, the mass that is this book, is pure energy. Well, his theory was certainly proven in the atomic weapons. You take, that is where, if you have a piece of loose leaf paper and you light a match to it and it goes up in flame, that is a chemical reaction. You have burned that piece of paper, it becomes ashes. You did nothing to the atoms of that piece of loose leaf paper. You did nothing to the protons. They're still there. You changed it chemically. You changed it to whatever chemicals are produced, that ashes are made of. And you released carbon dioxide, and there's carbon in the ashes, but it's still carbon. You take that piece of paper, and if you crumble it up and literally do what an atomic bomb does, and convert that piece of paper to total energies, so if there's nothing else left, you could probably level a good-sized city. That's how much energy is still in that piece, in those ashes after you burned it. So you see the difference. We're talking, burning chemically is minuscule compared to a total conversion. So we all know about the mass of the earth, the mass of you, the mass of everything that's around you. Can you get an idea, a comprehension of the total amount of energy that we're talking here? It's scary. If you look at history, until the time that it was in the early 20th century, when Einstein's theory of relativity came out, Newton's theories all worked out real well. And here's where, and we're going to be talking about the medical field heavily, as far as this goes, believe it or not, because the medical field had its big growing up years from the time of Newton up to the time of Einstein. I mean, that hasn't grown since, it certainly has, big time. But its fundamentals were based when Newtonian physics was the ruler. That's all there was. So that's all they had to do, rely on. So they, as the medical field and medicine, medical knowledge, they looked everything from with it as far as on a grand scale. Like we're a marvelous machine. They knew that, but they just think we're a machine and nothing else. Once you get into Einstein's theories and such, you realize there's so much more that we don't know about, we don't see, we don't feel, but yet exists. And we're talking about chakras, meridians, all kinds of electromagnetic and fields and that type of thing. And this is basically what medical science either won't admit to, or ignores, or just, I don't know what it's going to take to push them so that this stuff, in medical school, like I said, you go to medical schools, today none of that stuff is taught. And in my opinion, that's very discouraging. Now, some doctors do find out later, and they have like the one book that I read a little bit from it, and we will read further from again. The one who understands, he's open-minded enough that he realizes much, much, much more to the way the body works. In other words, if you had to put it in a couple sentences, Newtonian physics would say we're kind of like self-contained. We have no real interaction with the universe, in that we breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide, we take up space, and we have mass. As opposed to once you start getting into the Newtonian or the Einstein's stuff, it says, oh no, we are incredibly hooked up to the universe. It is aware of us. We are aware of it. Especially with the chakras, which we will get into. We're going to get into all this good stuff, and it's for real. Those who say, "Oh, that's bullshit." You know what? No, that's bullshit. Open your mind. Because the truth is, there's so much more to all this, and all you gotta just take it when you hear stuff that kind of goes counter to what you believe or what you were taught. Just be open-minded enough to just stop and think and say, Now, I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been in discussions with people, and I have had, I had my opinions or thoughts or beliefs, and someone says something that just blows me away. Just like, oh, I never thought of it. I think I've already given the illustration. I was talking with my beautiful wife, Valerie, about it one time. We were talking about reincarnation. She said, well, why can't you be reincarnated in the past? And I think for about 10 seconds I couldn't say anything, because in that 10 seconds she kind of threw a hand grenade, into my wall, or what I believe blew a hole open in it. And I said, oh my God, I never even considered that. Why not? And then it really changed my thinking, about it. So as we present ideas, that really is, I think the most important thing is to keep an open mind with a lot of this stuff. And if you examine it, and always, my God, please feel free to do research on it. Look up stuff, read stuff. That's how I learned most of what the ideas and the realization that life and our existence and consciousness is so much more than meets the eye, so to speak. So once again, I just wanted, as I said, it's going to be a short one. It's important, though. I want you to understand the clear distinction between the two. And, Newtonian is basically, physics deals with the big picture. And as far as chemistry, it's the outer shells of the electrons, and that's it. And when you start getting into the inner shells and into the nucleus, Newtonian doesn't work. And you're looking at, Einstein's, much more wild ideas. All right, so we'll go from there, and we'll see you next time. Think about it, and the next few shows will be fun. Bye.